Okay, how do we read the results of the Refinance Analyzer? Well, let's start right from the top. So here you can see that there's $6,532 of savings. That savings is actually interest savings. Right below it, you will see that there is a break even. So this is the time that all the costs have been recovered and true savings have begun. So this is your break even. And in order to really fully understand how we got this number, I'd like to walk you through it. Okay, so this is a time chart and it goes basically from 0 months to 60 months. And I'm going to walk you through how we got those savings. We know that the rate was 3.29 and that rate, that mortgage will actually end at maturity in 36 months. So that's the end of current term. So assuming we start a new mortgage today with the refi at 1.65, this will start today and go all the way to 60 months, which is a 5-year term. This is the end of new term. Now, in this area, we actually have potential interest savings. That's a difference of interest between the 3.29 and the 1.65. And we stop the savings right at the end of current term because at the end of current term, there's going to be a renewal. And we don't really know what rate the customer will get. So it's best that we don't even talk about it. We only talk about what we know for sure, which is this area. Now, the issue here is that there was a $20,000 prepayment penalty. So we can't technically call this all savings because part of that we'll have to recover our cost. So some part of our savings is actually dedicated to recover our cost. And as soon as we have recovered all our costs, we call that the break-even point. That's the point where all our costs, the prepayment penalty, $20,000, plus any interest that was accumulated until the end of new term was recovered. So what's left is our true savings. And this is that number, $6,532. So this was our true savings within the remaining term. And you saw how the break even was calculated. It was the end where all the costs have been recovered. Okay, let's move forward. If you tap on this area here, you will actually switch to see the payment. So you'll see that the payments have been lowered by about $394 per month, which sums up to be $4,728 per year. And if you tap on this area, you will see the time savings. The only time this will actually have a difference is if your amortization was extended or shortened, if the new payments was increased, if the payment frequencies are different, and for instance, one of them is accelerated, or if we keep the same payments. So we have a feature actually called keep same payment, and if that was enabled. But I will show you this in a later session. Okay, let's talk about this graph here at the bottom. And for that, I will actually extend this, make it larger so you could see it more clearly. Okay, so I'm going to move this slider to the beginning in month 1, and I want to explain what that is. So after the month 1, if you recall, we had a $20,000 prepayment penalty. After month 1, the interest savings in that month have recovered some of our costs, not all of it. However, as time goes, we will be recovering more and more of the cost. So our cost is technically offset by the interest savings, and it just decreases until we hit the break-even point, which is at 28 months. From this point on, we have an increase in savings because it accumulates, and this is our true savings, and it will go all the way to the end of term. And we talked about it before. This is the blue line. Past this area, we don't really want to speculate because that's when our current mortgage ends and a renewal will happen, and we don't know what rate that is. So it's best that we don't touch it. So really, this 6532 is our true savings in the current term. Okay, I'm going to reset my font size. And since you guys all fully understand the graph now, we're going to do something cool. We're going to learn about the break-even rate. What is the break-even rate? It's the maximum proposed rate that you can offer that allows the user to break even in the current month. And really, all you have to do is you have to find it with the slider and you can move it. You can move until the break even. If you see the graph at the bottom, the break even gets closer to the end of current term. And right now I can use the slider to get to 2%. But if you were to type in 2.0084, you get even closer to the end of current term, and that's your break even rate. What it really means is that any rate below 2.01 will be a win, and any rate greater than 2.01, it doesn't make the refinance worthwhile. And you can just simply see it for yourself with the slider. See, as soon as I hit 2.01, it goes in the red. Set it back to 1.65. And now we're going to talk about the break-even penalty. Yes, there's also a break-even penalty. So this is the maximum penalty that can be recovered in the current term. And you can also find that with the slider. All you have to do is move the penalty up to a point where you have the smallest savings as close as you can get to zero, because that will fall exactly under the at the end of current term. And I previously found the value manually to be $26,054. This will take me exactly to $1 saving, meaning that I break even exactly at the end of current term. So any penalty less than $26,054 is a win. And anything greater cannot be recovered in the current term. Okay, so next week we're going to talk about the anticipated future rate analysis. So if you recall, I was talking about past the end of current term, we can't really speculate. However, we can simulate some values and see the savings. And we're going to do the express setup for power users, debt consolidation, of course, to see how we can move a losing scenario to a winning scenario by consolidating debt. And we're going to touch on rolling cap for switches, extend and lower amortization, and we're going to exercise the auto match payments feature that we have and adjust max LTV and look in more detail on the mortgage and equity breakdowns. And last but not least, we'll generate a beautiful report that you can send to clients and they will love it. See you next week.